Alright guys, the official details and animations for the upcoming Dragon Ball Heroes units has been released on Twitter, so we're going to go through those now. Unfortunately, the units we saw from the live stream and the producers letter are the only headlining units for this year, so no surprise releases. However, I'm very excited to go through these. Dragon Ball Heroes is always a fun time, a fun novelty to have each year, especially with this year being the final year. We're going to get any new Heroes units. So let's get straight into this. So the Goku is going to lead Dragon Ball Heroes Kamehameha or Power Beyond the Super Saiyan with the 170, which I like that quite a lot. Then he'll give the additional HP attack and defense plus 30% to characters who also belong to the crossover category, which makes sense. Heroes crossover units, they typically always revolve around those specific categories, so I'm not surprised that they're sticking with that. He does have an entrance animation. Activates the entrance animation upon the character's entry, gains defense plus 200% and launches an additional super attack for 4 turns. That's actually quite nice from the character's entry turn. Key plus 2, attack and defense plus 150, plus an additional attack plus 150 when attacking, plus an additional defense plus 40% of each attack performed up to 200%. He's going to have a lot of defense in terms of just sheer numbers, especially within those 4 turns. That's 400% defense. And then the 150 he starts with launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack and randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to strength key spheres, so he's his own orb changer as well. When there are 3 or more crossover category allies or an ally whose name includes Zeno on the team. I've noticed they're a bit more lenient with, say, just heroes and crossover units, and now they're kind of generalizing with Zeno. However, a lot of the Zeno units are just crossover units, so I wouldn't say it's overly lenient. He'll then gain an additional attack plus 50% for the rest of battle, 70% chance of guarding all attacks within the same turn with 3 or more keys obtained. We all know how I feel about chances to guard. Like, it's good that he has it, it's nice that he can do it. However, if he doesn't, it's really, really jarring. Like, couldn't you have just give him guaranteed guard? What would have been so wrong with guaranteed guard? Like, I know the Heroes units aren't Dokkan Fests. I know they're not LRs. However, you can still make them sick. You can still help the aging process and make them ridiculously good. I don't know. I'm not a fan of chances to guard. I know a lot of you aren't either. As long as you have 3 or more keys obtained, I'm in his own orb changer, so that works out. He then gains an additional attack plus 100% for the rest of battle and guards all attacks within the same turn with 5 or more keys obtained. Okay. Maybe I spoke a little bit prematurely. If you get 3, it's a 70% chance. If you get 5, you get guaranteed guard. You get guard. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. Then, of course, the times where even with his orb changing, you get unlucky with the orb changing itself and orb placement, and you don't get 5 key spheres, you're then going to have to rely on a chance. But the fact he does have guaranteed guard in some capacity, I'm a bit more accepting of. He'll then gain an additional attack plus 150 for the rest of the battle with 7 or more keys obtained, and then he'll then gain an additional damage reduction of 40% when guard is active. Okay, now I'm a bit more fine with that. Okay. So if you get 5 or more key spheres, or even if he does guard with that 70% chance, but of course we want that guaranteed. We don't want a chance, we want that guaranteed. If he does guard regardless, you're going to have 40% damage reduction and guard. That's really good. Okay. We're not overly restrictive. You know, they only say you need 3 crossover units or a singular unit whose name includes Zeno. Or Zeno. It is Zeno, I don't know why I'm saying Zeno. Easy A Super Saiyan Zeno Goku. Supports Goku's family units. Let him stack a bit. Then move him into slot 3. Maybe something like that. This Goku's very good. And plus he doesn't share the same name with other blue Gokus. His active skill can be activated when there is an ally whose name includes Zeno attacking in the same turn or starting from the 5th turn. Those are very good active skill conditions. Turn 5 is more than okay at this point. He'll then massively raise attack temporarily and cause ultimate damage to the enemy. Defense plus 30% and all attacks become crits for 1 turn as well. His link skills are Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Shocking Speed, Warrior Gods, Godly Power, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. He goes on Dragon Ball Heroes, Kamehameha, Power Beyond the Super Saiyan, Crossover, Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Time Travelers, Goku's Family, Turtle School, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, Bond of Parent and Child, and Earthbred Fighters. And on Super Attack, he'll raise attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn, cause immense damage to the enemy, and have a 30% chance to crit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking this Goku a lot. He looks very good, very, very, very solid. Next, we have the Fu Youth unit. I'm hoping for more of the same. So, starts the turn with Key +2, attack and defense plus 150, plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% and a chance of performing a crit plus 20% per crossover or time traverse category ally attacking in the same turn. That's fine. I mean, primarily you're probably going to run all these units on a Dragon Ball Heroes crossover team anyway. However, it does say per crossover or time travelers category ally attacking in the same turn. So you can actually venture with Fu outside of Heroes and crossover, because time travelers will involve Majin Buu, Trunks, etc, etc. So far so good. It's not that restrictive. He'll then gain an additional attack and defense plus 100%, and also his per and his crit chance. So it's not overly needed. So we started off well. Keep that same trend going. So he does gain an additional attack and defense plus 100% when performing a super attack. He'll launch an additional attack that's a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. Launch another additional attack that's a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. And reduces damage received by 20% when there is another extreme class ally attacking in the same turn. Or when there is a super class enemy. Not a lot of damage reduction. However, I see more just at the bottom. That's easy. One of the hardest events in the whole game right now is literally based around superclass units. From Supreme Magnificent Battle to the Heroine Battle with Bulma. And then not to mention, you're more than likely going to run Fu with other extreme class units anyway. And all you need is 1 in the same turn. So already that started off really well. Then gains a 20% crit chance up to 40% and reduces damage received by 20% up to 40% as well. When, as we go into page 2, when or within the same turn with each super attack performed. He has a ton of built-in additionals, so you're going to have, what, 60% damage reduction in total with Fu? And that's going to be after he super attacks, so he's also going to get his SA buffs as well, and all the attack and defense he gets from super. Fu's really solid as well. I'm not going to lie, Dokkan's done a very good job. The easy A's, I can't lie, whoever's put in charge of those, honestly, pick your game up, step your game up. Whoever has done the summonable units, well done. Well done. I'm not gonna lie, they've actually done a very good job, and we're only 2 units deep. He also has a 50% chance of changing all key spheres to AG out and tech key spheres starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. His link skills are Demonic Power, Brainiacs, Cold Judgment, Big Bad Boss. He's got Big Bad Bosses as well. That's very nice. Big Bad Bosses, Godly Power, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. His categories are Time Travelers, Realm of Gods, Transformation Boost, Youth, Dragon Ball Heroes, Battle of Wits, Power Absorption, Crossover, Accelerate Battle, and Demonic Power. Good category here. Naturally, you would run him on Heroes and Crossover. Time Travelers, with how good these units are, you could actually make a solid Time Travelers team that is a mishmash between Heroes, crossover units, and just the general pool of units. And Power Absorption is a solid category as well, which does involve Time Travelers because Majin Buu's on there. He will greatly raise attack, so he'll stack attack by 50% and greatly raise defense by 50% for 1 turn, and cause supreme damage with a 50% chance of stunning. Fu looks very good as well. Fair play, Dokkan. Who do we have next? We have Eos. No idea who that is. If you do follow Heroes or did, you will have to let me know. She starts with attack and defense plus 120, gains an additional defense plus 120 when receiving an attack, plus an additional defense plus 120% if there is another crossover category ally attacking in the same turn, and when receiving an attack. Again, the typical trend with Heroes and crossover units is they gain buffs typically related to running other heroes or crossover units. I like how it's still there. It makes sense for it to still be there because they want you to summon for all these units and run them together. It makes sense. I love how lenient they've been with it this year, not being like per crossover or Dragon Ball Heroes category ally, and it's like you have to run a full team to get it. Like, we've seen 3, we've seen Orizino unit, we've seen 1 in the same turn, 2 in the same turn. I like how it's a bit more lenient. It's there. I expected it to be there, but I like how it's less restrictive and less of a must, if that makes sense. Plus an additional defense plus 120, all enemies attack and defense minus 24%, and a 30% chance to stun all enemies at the start of turn, 50% chance of evading enemies' attack, plus an additional chance of evading enemies' attack plus 10% within the same turn, and an additional attack plus 60% up to 240 with each attack evaded. All allies key plus 2 in attack and defense plus 40%, plus an additional key plus 1 attack and defense plus 24% for crossover category characters. I can't lie, that's nice. You know, key plus 2 in attack and defense plus 40% for all allies is good. Like, it's pretty solid. And then, of course, because these are crossover units, they get the full buff, which is key plus 3, attack and defense plus 64%. I'm good with that. I like that. Anything more at the bottom? There is more at the bottom. And then recovers 24% HP at the end of turn in which an attack was received. That's quite nice. A decent bulk of healing. Link skills are telekinesis, more than meets the eye, solid support, cold judgment, master of magic, godly power, fierce battle. She goes on Realm of Gods, Potara, time travelers, Dragon Ball Heroes, crossover storied figures. Unfortunately, for EOS or EOS, while she looks quite solid, good support, she doesn't have too many categories she can be run on outside of crossover. But I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that, especially with the crossover support. And she does raise attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn and causes supreme damage to the enemy and seals super attack. Next up, we have Dark King Demigra. And on passive, he starts with key plus 2, attack and defense plus 240, plus an additional attack and defense plus 120 when performing a super attack. He has a 50% chance of a crit, reduces damage received by 40%, plus an additional damage reduction of 20% when there is another crossover or demonic power category ally attacking in the same turn. Then gains an additional damage reduction of 20% before attacking when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class. So that means Demigra, before he attacks, can have a total of 80% damage reduction. Because naturally, you're going to run him with other extreme class units anyway. And from what I'm seeing, he has very little restrictions, especially because, yes, there's crossover, but there is demonic power. And there's some very good demonic power category units you can run with him to gain that and also have primarily, if not a full extreme class team, to get his full damage reduction. Sure, you lose 20% once he attacks, but that's still 60% in total. They've done a very good job this year. These units are going to age very well. It's a shame the easy A's aren't. I like Demigra a lot. And it's really annoying because now the anniversary is joint with JP and Global. We don't have extra time to save. I want to summon for these heroes units. I love summoning because it's just fun because all the hero units are there. There's featured units, you're guaranteed to get one. But it's like, I need to save, man. And not to mention, they've made them this good. They've done this on purpose. They've done this on purpose. They don't want us to save our stones. Gosh. He'll then gain an additional attack plus 40% of each attack received, up to 240%. Jesus. And he starts with 240 as well. That's 480% attack and defense once he's fully built up. And an extra 120 on super attack with all that damage reduction. Damn, Daniel. Back it again with the damage reduction. Yeah, that's a lot. He then gains an additional attack and defense plus 120 as the first attacker in a turn with all that damage reduction as well. Bet. Extreme class allies attack plus 60% and a chance for critical hit plus 24% as the second or third attacker in a turn. I like Demigra a lot. I like Demigra a whole lot. Link skill is Brainiacs, big bad bosses as well. Oh, big links, revival, master of magic, godly power, fear and faith, and fierce battle. Categories are demonic power, resurrected warriors, realm of gods, time travelers, Dragon Ball Heroes, crossover and storied figures. And on super attack, he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy. Extreme class allies, 30% defense for 1 turn as well. And he's got a little bit of support. And then if you do put him in slot 2 or slot 3, even more support. Damn. I might have to summon. Then we have Warrior in Black, brackets Super Saiyan, brackets Dark Dragon Ball Boost. So this guy is never going to clash with anyone, even though it's just a Super Saiyan Bardock, I think it was. Or is it Super Saiyan Goku? I think it was Bardock. But he's called Warrior in Black, so you're never going to get him mixed up with anyone. He shares no name with no one in the entire game, which is great. Key +2, attack and defense +150, 30% chance to crit, plus an additional attack and defense +100% when attacking, plus an additional attack +150, and a chance to crit plus 30% when attacking if the target enemy's HP is 70% or less, plus an additional attack +150, and a chance to crit plus 30% when attacking if the target enemy's HP is 40% or less, and gains an additional attack +50% and launches an additional super attack when a target enemy is in attack down status, defense down status, stunned, or the target enemy super attack is sealed. Annoyingly, as always, there isn't too many events and stages where you can debuff. There's been a bit more recently in certain phases, so there is that. Still quite low though, and usually you can't seal and you can't stun. So that's not the best. I am seeing some damage reduction though. Reduces damage received by 40%, which is nice, plus an additional damage reduction of 15% within the same turn before attacking an enemy whose HP is 70% or less. I don't know how I feel about all these HP restrictions. This one, I'm fine with. Why have you got attached damage reduction to HP restriction on the enemy? Like, it's not difficult to get the enemy down to 70% HP or less, but then also it is very specific, and he's not always going to have that. The standalone 40% is good. I like that a lot. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just kind of like, why have you got to attach it to HP restrictions or conditions of the enemy? Within the same turn before attacking an enemy whose HP is 40% or less, plus additional attack and defense plus 100% and launches an additional super attack for the rest of the battle after delivering a final blow. Do you know what? Warrior in Black, or whatever he's called, I think yeah, it is Warrior in Black. He's solid. I can't lie. His conditions / restrictions a bit annoying, especially because they're not permanent. And they're literally probably for like 1 turn, because once you super attack with a full rotation, that HP condition is going to drop, or their HP is going to drop. And I'm not going to lie, Final Blow is such an annoying condition to have, because you have to try and set it up, and then you have to factor in RNG, like additionals and crits, and multiple of them, to make sure he gets the Final Blow. Because you're missing out on sheer stats with this guy. So it's not like, oh, he gets an extra crit chance, which you could probably live without. No, you get extra stats. You want these. I don't know if he's going to need them. As I said, he does look very solid. He looks very good if you can get all of this active. Unfortunately, not all of it's permanent. This bit is, but then it's annoying to set up the Final Blow. As I said, he's solid, but he has a lot of annoying little restrictions, a lot of annoying little conditions. Link skills, Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan Experience Fighters, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Pride, Perfect Battle, Fierce Battle. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good and easy Link set. Goes on Super Saiyans, which is good as well. There is next to no category restrictions in his passives, so you can just run him on one of the best categories in the game with some of the best support in Super Saiyan. Pure Saiyans, Dragon Ball Seekers, Time Travelers, Goku's Family, Dragon Ball Heroes, Crossover, Bond of Parent and Child. And then you got that Xeno Goku support, or Xeno Goku support as well. Overall, this Warrior in Black unit has the best potential outside of Heroes and Crossover. He has some of the most annoying conditions in his passive. Still solid though. And on Super Attack, greatly raises attack and defense by 50% for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers attack and defense. Okay, let's watch these animations. See what they're saying. I know we've briefly seen the Gokus. I like the effect on like the cog wheel, the time wheel. She's flexing with the pose though. The OST sounds good as well. I like the red aura. The super attack wasn't nothing special, but I like the red aura on Warrior in Black. Okay, that shot was sick. Get hit with maths. Multiplication. I love the way this looks. Of course, these are going to be in Japanese because there's no English or global dub. We've seen this already, but the entrance animation is so nice. I love the way this blue Goku looks. Oh, that little transition was nice. Let me go back. This, I don't know, there's something about this little transition when you start doing the Kamehameha. That just looks good. And then we have this, which we've already seen. This is so sick. It would have been so dope if there was a dual unit. Yeah, I like that a lot, right? I know we've seen it, but it's just so sick to see. It's such a shame they didn't do a dual unit. Do you know how sick that would have been? I mean, regardless, I love that a lot. These Heroes units are very, very good. So they're going to age very nicely, which is something I was very worried about. And I love how they're really, really not restricted to just crossover or Dragon Ball Heroes this year. There's some stuff in their passive which is related to the category, which I expected. But I love how lenient they've been with the units this year, and they're all very good. Your boy's gonna have to summon. Your boy's just gonna have to summon. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to summon. I'm gonna have to go out. I'm gonna have to go out of a bang, you know. It's the final one. We're gonna have to do it. For the culture. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and let me know if you're going to be summoning for the Heroes units. They'll be out in the next couple days. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.